Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sorting Hat Podcast, the show where everything and anything can and will be sorted. I, as always, am your host, Michael Barryte, joined by my co-host, Brice.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, indeed.
I don't care what time it is that you're listening.
No.
I don't care where you are.
Certainly not.
Good morning in Los Angeles to you.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm coming in so hot against the guests.
I mean, you're not really coming in hot.
Guest. Oh, gosh. Okay, we're both a hot mess this morning.
Yeah, no, it's just Reed and I this time around because we're doing another. It's been a while. We're doing a Twitter responses episode.
If you wrote us on Twitter, it's time for us to respond. That's the theme song I wrote.
I love it. I'm glad that we got that backing band for it.
Yeah,
they're waiting
all right, guys.
outside.
All right, guys, you can go. Yeah, no, it was great. No, one and done. Yeah, my manager has your money. Bye.
They're never getting paid.
No. Lock the door.
So yeah, we're just going to be going through as you all should be aware. We have a Twitter for the podcast, sortinghat_pod, where we periodically put out polls, and it's
just
a way
nonsense questions.
Yeah, it's a way for you to engage with us and let us know what you like, what you don't like, if we got something wrong, if you've got corrections, if you...
more importantly, if you have compliments for me.
Yes, those are fairly frequent.
Oh, thank you. I really love our fans. I'm going to say it, hot take, unpopular opinion. I like having fans. I don't care what all these other podcasts say about, I hate my fans.
Yeah, remember, all those NPR-based podcasts like Radiolab? I hear that Jad Abumrad and Robert Krulwich are like, we hate the fans.
Yeah, I heard that Ira Glass regularly pushes old women down in the street if they make eye contact.
Yeah, if they approach him and are like, I love this American, and he's like, get out of my way.
Yeah, he goes, I have a weird... quirky underbellies of America to get to. Get out of here, toots.
So many murders have been committed on Ira Glass's behalf.
We're not going to kill any of our fans, though.
No, certainly not.
And that's the Sorting Hat stamp of guarantee.
Stamp of guarantee.
You know what? I'm coming in hot mess today, guys.
Oh, we get you.
So let's get into some of those Twitter polls.
I went through, because it's been a while since we've done a Twitter response episode, since the first one that we did. So I pulled some choice remarks from like the long litany of responses that we got. And I'll start just actually from fairly recently from our episode on significant meteorological events, which that was with our guest Tom Schuler.
Yep.
And I on the pod made the remark that there were not any electric or ice type Pokemon or electric type fire Pokemon, and Josh Golden, one of our super fans, Josh Golden.
Golden got something to say.
Yeah, he responded with a helpful correction and came to inform me
Golden.
Came to inform me that Rotom and its different forms.
Snatch her wig.
Rotom, the Pokemon, has both a fire electric and a fire ice typing.
You idiot!
I know, and Gen 4 is one of my favorite Pokemon types, but Rotom is
especially shameful then.
But Rotom is one of those Pokemon, because there are like 700 or 800 Pokemon now.
Wait a minute. Just because you're embarrassed that you forgot about Rotom, suddenly she's a filler queen. I don't think so. How dare you?
When I'm not even gonna bother defending. I'm just gonna like let you drag me like more.
Like, I understand anything that happened in Pokemon after the red and blue. Those are the last ones I really played.
Oh, well, then you should like jump on the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee that were announced, because that's just the Kanto region.
Oh,
but it's for
is that what red and blue?
It's like a remake of Yellow. So the one with like Pikachu in it.
So the Pikachu's going to be following you around, or the Eevee will be following you around?
There are going to be all the Pokemon that you can choose which Pokemon follows you around. So it's like adorable.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they all follow you around.
No.
You eventually just have a train.
No. But like,
oh, okay, I'm free balling my Pokemon. None of them are in balls.
Right. No.
I shouldn't call it free balling.
It's a debatable term to be throwing around so casually, but
is Missing Number gonna be there? That was my favorite Pokemon.
That's from Gen 2. So
you know what?
You ventured a little farther
I
out
said
than
red
you
and
thought.
blue.
Yeah, no, that's gold and silver.
What are you talking about? Missing number, you can get...
Missing no. I thought you meant unknown. I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no.
You're really showing your whole Pokemon
Man,
butt here today.
I am sleepy. All right. So also on that, I believe it was in the same, one of us said it.
Yeah.
Count Bradshaw or Unsaxon 51. I believe their username was something else, or their like handle was something else. So forgive me, Bradshaw. But they said, yo, that steroid analogy is the best explanation for man-made climate change I've ever heard. I believe that was you who made that call out. You know what?
If somebody's an expert on climate change, it's your boy Reed Brice.
Oh, I thought you were going to say...
I got this whole thing on lock.
I thought you were going to say if anybody knows anything about steroids.
My 123-pound ass, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on. This is actually from a little bit ago, and this comes from Bella, who's responded to a handful of them. A while back, our Twitter feed, I did a run where I did each finger on the hand.
Right.
At which point, at the point that the middle finger came out, which was declared 51 or 52% Gryffindor by the 44 votes that were contributed, 0% Hufflepuff, 45% Slytherin, and 3% Ravenclaw.
I love that based on like the generalizations that our Twitter pollers tend to make. That makes them say, when I do a middle finger, I'm very brave.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I've never given a middle finger that wasn't in my car as the person was turning away. So they couldn't follow me in case they got angry.
So that was like the passive-aggressive safety one.
I've never given a fully brave middle finger
I see.
to someone's face. Except for maybe a cop once.
Well, so Bella said, the middle finger is a Gryffindor. I will die on this hill.
Okay,
but
Bella.
then Bella went the extra mile, and I don't know if this is their graphic or somebody else's.
Either way, they've tracked it down for us.
In either case, they then responded to their own response with also the hand is a Slytherin and the arm as a whole is a Gryffindor. Sorry, I don't make the rules. And the graphic that they have shows the thumb is a Gryffindor, the palm is a Gryffindor, the pointer finger is a Slytherin, the middle finger is a Gryffindor. The ring finger is a Ravenclaw, and the pinky finger is a Hufflepuff.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have to probably give it to Bella on the arm part.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it helps. It's like a stability thing. It's like the actual reaching out and the bridging between the hand and the brain.
Yes.
But I'm probably also going to give the hand to Gryffindor, too, because I can maybe see the logic of, like, Slytherins are takers, and so like if you mostly what you do with the hand is you take, but the hand is versatile. It also gives, so I would probably give it a Gryffindor.
Could for that very reason it be a Ravenclaw because of its versatility, or do you think that?
I just don't know if hands. I feel like if a Ravenclaw designed itself, it would be more efficient than the hand is currently.
Oh, so you don't find the hand as the highest tier of grabbing means?
Well, okay, we're gonna go off of all facets of the hand, right?
Sure.
Our talons are flimsy and break easily, and like are gross looking. We don't.
You mean our nails?
Yeah, our talons.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm trying to like make us more animal-like in my description so I sound smarter.
Oh, okay, sure.
We don't have any little Barbie things or anything to grip with our fingers very easily, so it's very hard if we're on a cliffside, like a Spider-Man situation.
When you first said Barbie things, I thought the Mattel toy, which was like, where are you going with this?
We don't have stiff, unarticulated fingers is what I'm saying, like a Barbie.
Which at what point, because like Barbie still doesn't have like jointed elbows or knees, correct?
I haven't played with a Barbie in the last 10 years, but when I had some as a little boy, I think some of them, their elbows would bend a little bit.
Oh, really?
And it was that their wrist, they didn't really have a wrist. It kind of just went from the arm to the hand, and then their fingers were kind of conjoined, and they had but they had their separate thumb in case you wanted to put some sort of
like
accessory,
a mug or a purse or whatever.
It was their feet that were more messed up, though. They were perpetually like in heels sort of posture.
Right, they were always standing on their toes, and so you couldn't actually stand them up. And maybe now, obviously, this could be really readily resolved with a simple Google image search, but I am unflappable and unwilling to do that. But maybe their heels have been lowered to the ground so they can stand, but also...
Well, you know what? If you're good, you'll find out for your birthday. I will get you a Barbie.
Oh, I don't want a Barbie.
Too bad. It's already in the wish list for you.
I have so much crap already that I'm like, I need to get this out of my life. I need to like zen up my life.
If I found you the right nerdy Barbie, you would probably be like, okay, this is pretty cool.
Oh,
and
if you can find me the rocket scientist Barbie, I'm all in. She's like a super rare.
Or the astronaut one, I bet would be very hard to track down now.
Like any of the like the what was it? The STEM like offshoot Barbie set.
Okay, but you know how much those gays with disposable income spend on those Barbies? I don't have that kind of gay disposable income.
Yeah, that's why I'm setting you up on like a
mission that can't succeed.
Yes,
you son of a bitch.
That's me. The worst.
You keep trying to turn me into your sugar daddy. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell you I'm going to die in poverty.
Baby, I want you to be my sugar daddy. Rain it down on me.
What's our next Twitter poll?
Oh, you started to say something more about the hand as a good thing or a Gryffindor.
I don't know.
And I sidetracked us very far because I heard the word Barbie.
I don't really have anything else to say on the hand other than I feel like it's a Gryffindor. But Bella, I really appreciate all of the research and the graphs that you bring to us.
So unrelated as like a direct fan response per se, this next one is actually a guest v guest interaction that wound up happening. So as some of you will recall, with the Trader Joe's episode that featured Jeremy Hanna.
We've got a lot of good feedback from that episode.
Yes. I think it's Netta on Twitter recently was like, I got that everything but the sesame, like, everything but the bagel.
Sprinkle it, girl.
Yeah. So, like, within that episode, Jeremy threw the gauntlet down saying that he wanted to sort the most items that we've ever had on the show.
Right.
We're still waiting for somebody to give us a total tally of what that number is. If you have listened to that episode or would like to re-listen to it, just give us like that quick tally, and we're going to take your word on it, whatever number you give us.
Yeah, we will definitely defer to you because you will be putting in more effort than we're willing to do.
I mean, it's like I listen through and remix the episodes, but while I'm doing that, it skipped my mind to be like, oh, I should be like tab. But Abby Wilde, an earlier guest on the pod, we did a two-parter with her on Stephen King novels, and she responded, please tell Jeremy Hanna I take his 30-plus item itinerary as a personal insult being in all caps, with the hashtag 5-item two-parter.
My goodness.
Which Jeremy responded, we're just two sides of the same coin, to which Abby responded, sounds like something an arch nemesis would say, and she kicked over a Two-Face clip or Two-Face gif from Batman the Animated Series from the 90s.
We're causing people to become enemies.
But wait, to which Jeremy then responded with a shot of Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face from Batman Forever, flipping a coin, seeing the result, and smiling to himself, or like being a little like both upset and also excited. And then the Sorting Hat podcast responded, if nothing else, we're bringing people together, with a gif from Mortal Kombat 3, I believe, where friendships were introduced.
I see.
And then
I don't know. It doesn't sound like friendship is happening to me. It sounds like we're going to cause a duel to happen.
But then Jeremy responded with Two-Face whispering into the Riddler's ear and the Riddler smiling, also from Batman and Forever. And then Abby Wilde responded with a gif of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy high-fiving one another in a convertible. So I think we can say by the end of this, they are close friends.
See that? I went through the whole arc drama in 5 seconds while you all got to live it in real time. So you have to excuse me if I got scared for a moment.
No, I understand. And
I was like, oh God, are there going to be bloodshed at the hands of the Sorting Hot podcast? I can't have that.
Right. So murders happened, but they're not our fault.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all I cared about. Yeah. I'm not going to jail again.
Moving right along. This one is actually a roast of you, Reed.
Excuse me. Okay.
So
I don't recommend people come for me unless I send for them. Go right ahead.
So while I was in Iceland, I told Reed, hey, there is the low chance that I will be able to be tweeting out, because customarily the one running the Twitter feed is myself or our intern Taylor. Yeah,
I hate Taylor though, so I was like, no way are you leaving me with him.
No way is intern Taylor handling this. So Reed took control of the tweeting out.
And you say take control the same way that a 3-year-old would take control of a car.
Yeah, I'm being generous with
Michael
my words.
was like, please just let me have a vacation. So, and I was like, no, you got it, boss.
So Reed was tweeting out the polls, and Reed failed to switch over to the Sorting Hat Twitter handle for one of these days on March 22nd.
I tweeted from my own account on accident, but here, you know what? I might look like a 12-year-old boy, but I tweet like a 112-year-old boy. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
And you did get a fair amount of engagement. So
So I feel upwards like normal.
Right. Yeah. Dunning-Kruger was totally in your favor. So it was Garlic Fries R, and Hufflepuff squeaked by with 31%, with Ravenclaw at 27% and Gryffindor at 26%. Then Bradshaw on Saxon 51 chimed in, accidentally posting a survey from the wrong account is a Gryffindor, Pufflehuff, Ravenclaw, slithering.
He was like, read it. I can't even give Reed like a true like branding here. There's some sort of like muddled, like hybrid here. Wait, did anybody vote on it?
Oh yeah. No. Like their thing was not a poll. You can't respond to tweets with polls.
Oh, thank God.
Or I don't believe you can.
I didn't want a whole internet clowning on me together.
You can actually respond with a poll.
Yeah, well, that's how I always do my choose your own adventure stories.
That's right. Right. And so then Unsaxon 51 said, even if Reed did this on purpose, please know I'm just poking fun with a winky face emoji.
No, we're enemies forever now, dude. How dare you? How dare you? What if I just kept getting progressively and like just didn't let it go the rest of the episode?
Oh, I thought you were going to go higher and higher in your register as you.
No. I'm not trying to damage the hearing of our beautiful listeners. I'm so sorry. I couldn't even give you a week off, my man. I try.
It's fine.
I do my best.
The craziest part was because like I was under the impression while I was in Iceland, I would have absolutely no Wi-Fi. Strangely, most of the times that because I just have like a weekly alarm set to just be like, hey,
do a poll.
Put out the poll. And I would receive that reminder. And I just like happen to be at cafes or in hostels at like exactly that time.
That's how you kept scooping me, because sometimes I'd get there like 5 minutes ago. You had already posted one. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Even on his vacation, he's more efficient than I am.
Yeah, it's because I am neurotic and have trust issues, I think. Like, if we're being real.
It's pretty validated.
No, I need to be able to just be like, they're going to do it. It's going to be fine. And that's not just with you, that's with everybody. But like I'm needlessly hovery but like also I'm working like a middle management job where I need to be supervising people now.
And so it's hard to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, so me like constantly poking, being like, hey, did this get done? Is like just now what my job description is.
I love it.
That and making schedules. But moving right along, this tweet comes from Megan or at XOmpelli.
Sorry if we mispronounced that, but
Zompoli?
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Maybe.
You know what? You should write to us and let us know if we got that right.
Yeah. they tweeted at us, I just put orange juice in my coffee. It sounds terrible, I know, and it's good. I blame sortinghat_pod for the idea.
Well, it wasn't our idea. It was the idea of our guest.
Yeah, when Callan came on, if you haven't listened to our Starbucks blends episode, she made the from a previous tasting. She and other Starbucks employees were like, you know what works really well as a mixer in coffee? It's orange juice.
You can listen to us, like, not even believing it on the episode and trying it in real time and being like, well, hot damn.
Yeah. And as somebody who does not drink coffee at all, that is the means of which I would indeed drink coffee.
Like, I kind of get it, because, coffee's just the bean or seed of a fruit. So it makes sense that, because orange goes with almost every fruit combination. Mm-hmm. There's not too many that I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I'd want to put that in my mouth.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it, that you didn't accidentally get, like, pranked by us.
Right. That would have been like a very quiet prank on our part.
Like a very quiet and, like, almost wholesome prank where it's like, oh, that was a little bit gross for me.
Right.
You got me. Which is the only kind of prank I'd probably be comfortable doing on a stranger to begin with.
So this next tweet comes from Netta Nebus.
Come on, Netta.
Or if you want their user handle also, it's at PhillyFinFan13.
Mm-hmm.
This was back on March 14th. Okay. They said, Happy Pie Day. Speaking of, is Pie Day a Ravenclaw or a Hufflepuff? And now you did not. Now Reed responded to this, but did not directly respond to the question itself.
I'm so sorry.
You said pie, the number,
right,
is a Ravenclaw. Pie, the food, is a Hufflepuff. To which I then responded, and when the day is corporatized, it's a Slytherin.
Mm-hmm.
And then Netta said, well played all. Now to get my pie on, which they then presented us an image of what appears to be like a peanut butter or pecan pie.
Either way, it's making me hungry.
It looks real good.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a pecan pie. I just thought peanut butter because the ridging reminds me of a Reese's peanut butter cup.
On the pie versus cake battlefield, I'm definitely pie guy. How about you?
I lean more towards cake, but because I think what it comes down to is, by and large, there are less flavors of pie that I'm down with.
I see. What are you down with on the pie front?
I am down with peanut butter pie. Mm-hmm. I'm down with pumpkin pie.
Mm-hmm. So you like the ones that aren't necessarily like fruit based. You like the ones that have like a creamy sort of texture.
I'm down with an apple pie, but the more syrupy based ones, I just have a thing.
You want some cinnamon in your pie? Is the thing.
Syrup is like when it's like oozing out blueberry. Like,
okay, but you don't want to call it ooze.
That's how I see it, and like even then, I had like a guttural like
I know I
cling.
Saw it. Because I love a cherry pie, a blueberry, any of them oozers.
Yeah, see, you and I are on opposite sides of the same coin.
That's okay. If I bring his pie, I'll get you a pumpkin-y one or something.
Right. But I will say, like, I think also, as I'm just like a chocolate-leaning individual, that's...
Oh, and how sometimes
that's a cake game.
He straight up says like Kathy-ass things like, I really just need to have my chocolate.
Oh, I thought it was just, I say ack a whole bunch.
Well, I mean that, and you complain about how bad you look in bikinis. But when we got to Disney World, as we talked about in our previous episode, Michael was like, oh, I just really need to perk up a little bit. And I was like, oh, is he going to actually have coffee for the first time? He's like,
nope.
Better go get a piece of chocolate. And I was like, there's negligible amounts of caffeine in chocolate. You're so funny.
Yeah, but it's just enough for me. And to that end, hooray.
Yeah, so I would put Pie Day itself like as a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Because it's all about celebrating mathematics, which only Ravenclaws would probably do.
Yeah, more times than not. Then we have a just now we're starting to like drift a little more into just like the reasoning around things. Ooh, actually, before we do that,
sure.
We got a great response to our Tupperware episode. Again, a Jeremy Hanna episode.
He is a fan favorite.
Yes. So we had Unsaxon51 quote tweet us as we he said, this episode is immediately worthwhile within the first 5 minutes just because of Dixie Longated, Tupperware drag queen. So the best part about that was we did tag Dixie Longate in our initial social post. Mm-hmm. However, it wasn't until Unsaxon51 quote tweeted this that Dixie Longate responded to this saying, if you need help sorting, just let me know. I'm a giver and am more than happy to help.
That's so cute. I love her.
And then Reed, you responded, am I one of those salad dressing containers y'all sell? Because I'm shook. You, even in your like slightly excited state, were like, I gotta be my clever and adorable self.
Well, and also, if you've like known anything about me outside of the podcast, like drag queens are basically all I care about.
Sure.
They are my football.
And we'll do like a slight sidebar on that's independent of these. And then Dixie responded, just put down some paper towels so that you don't get too shaken all over the floor, and then a winky face smile.
She was flirting with me.
Oh yeah. But on the point of drag queens, we had Chester C on our pod.
Oh my goodness.
And
face crack of the century, because this motherfucker came on to sort like the
90s boy bands
that we remember.
Yeah.
And super nice. I'd known a little bit about his music career before that, but I didn't really know what he was up to right now. Like, just specifically, like, day to day, like, what project are you working on right now? And then as he was leaving off the mic,
he low-key dropped this one that got Reed so...
I about fainted. I was like, get me a fainting couch. As he was leaving, was like, oh, and by the way, in a couple weeks, you might see me on RuPaul's Drag Race, which is like, to me, saying... You know, oh, by the way,
I'm competing in the Olympics.
Yes. And I was like, why didn't you talk about that on the pod? I'm about to fall on my chair now.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a situation where at that time, it wasn't public knowledge. So
yeah, there was an NDA.
We couldn't say anything.
But like, suddenly I was like more obsessed with a guest than we had ever had before. Not that I'm not obsessed with all of our guests, but I was like, what is happening?
But the best part about all of that was then when the episode came out, like, Chester slayed.
I want to say I am so proud of all of those guys who came in from the social media influencer world. Like, because it was Kingsley, Tyler Oakley, Anthony Padilla, who he used to work with,
former boss,
and then Chester C. Right, that was the four of them.
There were more, but
who were more than the other four? Those four guys.
There were like 6 or 7 at the time, I think. But
if I'm not remembering anybody, I'm sorry.
It's totally fair. I mean, I watched the episode because you were like, dude.
Oh wait, yeah,
check
and
then
Frankie Grande, and who else was there? Well, either way,
it's okay. Apologies to the 1 or 2 that we forgot.
I've only met like 2 of them, so
right.
You were all fabulous. But Chester C., who was like very, like, if you are wondering what he's like in real life, he's as quiet and unassuming as they like basically portrayed him on the and like Cameron Michaels, the drag queen who was with Anthony, just turns it on and turns it out as soon as they hit the stage, and Chester fucking slayed the runway.
Yeah.
As Miss Cookie.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And like, he's been hinting that he might be doing some straight boy drag in the future, and I want to very much encourage that. No, because there aren't enough people like pushing, really, especially on the mainstream version of drag that we have now. There aren't really any people who aren't cisgender gay men doing it and like getting the success that they deserve. Like, our drag kings are being underserved. Our hyper queens or cisgender drag queen women are not getting the time to shine. I just want to see everybody trying it.
But is that a situation where like that will be seen as encroachment on like something that is more within like the gay, like a gay community thing?
That's actually a larger conversation that's been happening recently. People straight up asked RuPaul, like, would you let, like, say, a cisgender woman compete? Would you let a straight man compete? Would you let a lesbian, any sort of configuration? And RuPaul pushed back against that idea, and the community actually like had to inform RuPaul, who's considered like queen of the gays,
right?
That no, drag has always had trans women in it. First of all, there've been like openly like competing trans women on the show, and drag is changing from being something that is primarily for cis gay men to explore gender into being something that everybody can explore the heightened versions of masculinity and femininity. So it's like basically instead of being like a man pretending to be a woman, it's someone saying, okay, here are things about gender that I think we should be making fun of, and I'm going to heighten that like you would in improv to its most like exaggerated and ridiculous form.
I mean, it in its barest sense, it's just hyperbolic theater.
Exactly.
Like,
it's just all presentation.
And to say that belongs to one party or another is perhaps a little bit foolish and gatekeepery.
No, it's very gatekeepery, and it's very ironic since gay men have like historically said we do drag because we want to celebrate womanhood, but then to say except women you can't do this with us,
right,
is very
it's problematic.
It's problematic and weird. I even I get people like very like doing the math in their head, like that one gif of the woman where all of the symbols are flying around. When I say I like doing female impersonation, because they're like, well, you are kind of working your way away from that, fella. And
well, it's like, I mean, for Halloween, that's the one day that you or that initially was at least described as the one day that you were going to be like, I do femme drag, like. Yeah,
and I've gotten more and more comfortable doing it as my body has started to look more like correct as it's supposed to, because if I'm not feeling like, oh, okay, this is out of my control now, this is now my choice to put on, you know, a beautiful long hair or to put on a dress or something, knowing that I am creating illusion and not living the illusion, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I love all of that and congratulations, Chester, please do more. And I'm just so proud of somebody I barely know.
It's worth noting that Reed is crying right now. They just have,
I just want everybody to know.
They silently had tears raining down their face.
A new day has come.
I was really concerned about all of the electronic wiring below them because there's now a puddle.
I hope those are under warranty.
So now we're just going to actually get to like a few responses and just like Twitter polls and see if we agree or disagree as often happens. So Alexis Simpson, former guest on the pod.
Hello, Alexis, you dummy.
We need to have her back.
Kathy Griffin put out this tweet saying like, who are the women in comedy that you want everybody to know about? And she is one of the people that I shouted out.
Alexis is low key one of the best character actors. Like just like you get her doing just the nuance that she brings to all roles is so great. So like this is just like our soft Alexis Simpson, you're incredible. Yeah. If you are in the Los Angeles area, just like follow her on Twitter, see what she does, because she performs like most frequently at Comedy Sports, but she'll do like one-offs of her show, Save the Rec Center. Yeah. Which is a phenomenal fucking show. Either way, you all know that I'm an easy laugher. So when I say that she makes me laugh so hard, it's hard for me to breathe. You have to understand how violent that is and how funny she fucking is. Yeah. But Alexis responded to, how is this not 99% Hufflepuff? And that was to the poll. That moment when you realize the song you picked for karaoke is way longer than you thought it is. Which it only got 53% Hufflepuff. Oh my God. No, there's like the idea of somebody getting overwhelmed at karaoke is definitely a Hufflepuff thing. But like that is something that you see happen far too frequently. Like, was there an actual song that inspired that for you? No, I think it was only because somebody had recently like invited karaoke or was saying like, or maybe it was actually there's with the improv group that I'm with, like they periodically do like improv karaoke nights, which is it's called what Surprise Inside. It's improv karaoke with Surprise Inside. Right. I believe. Okay. Yeah. It is phenomenal because it's a full live band who make up entire songs for you, and then you just provide the lead vocals. Yeah, you draw from a cereal box what the name of the song is. Yeah, that's Scott Passarella's band. That's based on. We need to have Scott on as a guest. Yes. Because speaking of just great improvisers, Scott Passarella is like the best improvised keyboardist. Like,
yeah, no, the best musical director I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot, like just in terms of like my personal needs and like what gets me off during improv, that's him to a T. If you want to like check out something of his online really quickly, you can look at you posted that on Smosh. I'm not just giving it a plug because it's where I work. It's just like the most immediate one I can think of.
5-minute song machine or 1 hour song machine.
Both of those on the Smosh network. He just basically can come up with something that sounds like it could be on the radio after you tell him 2 words.
Yeah,
it's bonkers.
He's phenomenal. But we need to have him on. I need to approach him about that.
Oh my gosh.
And make sure that happens. But yeah, so I think it was after that was posted online of like, hey, we're doing another one of these. And you always like, there's always those 1 or 2 people who like forget, or like I forgot, it's like Come Sail Away by Styx.
It's and especially the ones that have big instrumentals in the middle.
Like long instrumental breaks, and you're like, I don't, or the end chorus just goes on for fucking ever.
Yes. Oh my God. It just gets repeated 20 times.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, and then you slowly fade out. Like, we could have ended the song after you did it 3. But like, then are there certain songs that you like want to see done at karaoke more?
Let's see here. I like anyone where like doo-wop groups where the guys have high falsetto voices.
Mm-hmm. So like a Frankie Valli.
Any Frankie Valli music would be amazing. I used to be able, like, halfway decent about it, but as you can tell by my head voice, I'm not really able to make those shifts as quickly anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like I went from being an automatic transmission to being a fucked up manual that's not working quite right.
You're a 15-year-old Chevy.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that note. No, oh God! It used to shift like immediately, and now I'm like, where are you going, boys? You're going right off a goddamn cliff like you're on a Segway.
I was gonna go with like Thelma and Louise, but you went Segway. Okay. Both unfortunate fates. But yeah, for me, like the ones that will always impress are like speed rap songs. Like if someone's like, hey, I'm gonna do Rap God, which is like an insane song already.
No, I will never of my own volition rap. I just know what I sound like. I know that's not pleasant to hear me trying to sound like I have any confidence.
Or like any of those. I'm always impressed with like the speed based one. So like a Gilbert and Sullivan, like Modern Major General is always good.
Oh, for sure. I could probably pull that off sooner though.
You are the very model of a modern Major General.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is good and delightful.
What is your karaoke song? Like, what's your go-to if you're like, I just know I need to impress now? I mean,
see, I don't find myself terribly impressive when it comes to karaoke.
He's a good singer.
So I find myself drawn to, because I'm like a bass baritone. Mm-hmm. All the songs that I want to sing are out of my range. So like I will go to like a Welcome to the Black Parade, which is like too high for me.
Oh yeah.
Or I remember when like Rock Band or Guitar Hero came out, I would always, or whatever the Guitar Hero, like everybody is a part of it, and there's one person on vocals. I believe it was The Middle by Jimmy Eats World is another one that's like
that one's I think in your range.
It's closer to my range, but some of the higher notes are like just on the cusp for me, depending on when it is. But like, yeah, I'm a very easy mark for any pop music. So like Shut Up and Dance is like a delightful one.
You like any pop music that has a little bit more of a rock edge to it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Although Sweet Caroline is always good.
Yeah. Classic.
I did recently, I was trying like some of the Frankie Valli stuff.
It just is so much fun. It's like being on a roller coaster with your vocal cords.
Yeah, it's super fun.
And like trying to figure out if you are doing it as a group, like figuring out like which part do I do? Oh, not that one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's like, I don't necessarily have like a fixed go-to, but those are like in the rotation.
Yeah.
I don't have this is going to destroy. I wish that I could do maybe some like musical theater-y ones. I suppose like Suddenly Seymour was like one that I went with for a while.
Oh, that's very on brand for you.
But I'd need an Audrey for that.
Oh,
so
I can do Audrey.
I know you could, but you aren't always with me when I'm doing karaoke.
Well, we're going to set it up, honey.
Moving on. This was circumnavigation is what do you feel it is?
What, like, are you asking me to define it?
No. I mean, like,
that's where you go all the way around the earth, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was
putting on the spot.
I wasn't necessarily asking you to define it, but that is helpful for the listeners.
I was like back on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And I was not.
Where do you feel it lands?
So most of the times that someone circumnavigates the globe, definitely not me since I can barely say the word. They're usually real smart.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know a lot about geography and also whatever mode of transportation you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make that a Ravenclaw, baby.
You would be correct with the majority on that because 54% said Ravenclaw and 39% said Gryffindor. However, El Santiago, Dr. KBB, or at Astronauta Mono, said that's totally not a Gryffindor move. They'd be more prone to say fuck it. Let's go through the middle. Also,
or just like not even really take a map.
Yeah, so he's agreeing that it's a Ravenclaw because he says also probably they don't know the meaning of that word, so that's a Ravenclaw.
Okay.
So like there was some shade casting, but I love that it's like, yeah, we would just be drilling into the center of the earth, but then that would lead us into the conspiracy theory part 2 where we'd encounter that Nazi base in the core or something.
Yeah, that's being maintained by mole men.
Yeah, so there are those as far as like basic responses go. I don't necessarily have any immediate other ones, although I will take great pride in I introduced a handful of people to capstan tables.
What is that?
A capstan table is this table that it's rounded, and if you do happen to like walk around just a little bit, there's this GIF I've got going as a reference.
I see it.
That you can basically you rotate it, and then it like becomes bigger or smaller, and it's set up so the like pieces slide out and a centerpiece rises up to like perfectly fill it out, which is pretty.
And those are just like a normal table you can buy. It's like a variety of tables.
You can buy it. It's going to cost you a minimum of probably $500 because it's got a lot of different moving pieces. No,
it's like a woodworking and like it almost looks like a puzzle sort of thing lifting up out of the table.
Right.
I am miffed that I have not heard of this before because you know what I looked up the last time I was as high as I could be? History of the table. I was like, all right, when did these humans start using tables?
When did humans start using tables?
Apparently it was a long time ago, and it just kind of looked like a table. I don't know what I was expecting. I was like, is there some sort of like missing link from us using the floor to us using a table?
Now, in that situation, do you believe that the first table, because in my head, the first table would like not have the natural like 4 legs, but it's literally just like, a stone that sits in front of a smaller stone that you can sit on.
Like an altar sort of thing where it's kind of like a mattress that's not on a bed frame.
Yeah. Way to call me out on that.
I guess Michael is now telling me that he has no bed frame underneath his bed.
You can see that on any given day.
Well, no, because I'm dumb enough to not understand that the box spring thingy is not part of the mattress.
I very cleverly hid it with a drapery.
I thought you had like just one of those like those modern sleek IKEA beds that like are 2 inches from the floor.
No, I've been meaning to invest in box or what the.
No, this gives you the tortured artist vibe. A girl comes back here and goes, this man's figuring himself out.
Yeah, I need to like not have that, and also probably remove the green screen from my wall because I'm not using it.
I assume it's like seeming like you don't have your shit together, right?
Yeah, no,
I
don't.
Based off on some of the experiences of some of my friends getting women that they do not deserve.
Look, I'd love to be earning a woman I don't deserve. That's I think what everybody is striving to.
Even I want a woman I don't deserve in my life.
Look, everybody's
deserve any of them.
Everybody's trying to ladder climb. Like, nobody is trying to come out of this being like, you want to know who I want? Somebody who is not equal to me, like someone who's less than me.
Well,
like
I mean, there are some people who kind of go through their life saying, well, who will I settle for?
Right.
Yeah.
but to you, I say, never settle.
Aw. Well, that's fair.
Yeah. Fairness and all. I think that that is a good place to wrap things up.
Yeah, if you have a correction for our corrections episode, please come in hot and fast on Michael's ass. Pin him to the wall.
Oh, that's not what I want. Not at all.
Or no, please keep interacting with us though. It's like one of my favorite things about the podcast is just hearing back from folks.
Kicking us responses on Twitter or leaving us a review on iTunes. Those are our Apple Podcasts now. It's a weird rebranding.
Before we finish our plugs, I can tell you folks what happened with my uncle. On the DMs.
Yes.
Okay, because if you're not caught up, if you hadn't heard the last episode, I too long didn't read Trigger Warning, trans dysphoria and family stuff. I haven't had the best relationship with my family, and in fact, I haven't had any contact with them since around the time of my surgery because they just aren't being very supportive. My extended family, I haven't really been talking to for years. So last week, this motherfucker, as we're recording a podcast, suddenly DMs like, you changed your name? What the fuck? And I had to like, just while we were talking, like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And so
if you haven't listened to that episode, you get some degree of play-by-play, and then we drop off.
Because I was very certain he was just engaging with me because he wanted to check out the freak show. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm going to troll the hell out of this guy. It's going to be great. And I did. And it was so funny because every time he tried to set me up to like feel bad about myself, I just would keep like going, oh yeah, nah, of course, same to you. Like he would go like, so wait, if you want to be a boy, are you a lesbian? Do you date women? Which first of all, like, oh God. Because he thought that I was pretending to be a man just because I wanted to get women. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, actually, I'm a gay dude. Love the D. And he was like, well, why wouldn't you just stay a woman then? And I was like, because I'm not good enough to be a woman. And then he was like trying to do that weird thing that homophobes and transphobes do where they keep reminding you how disgusting they think you are and then follow it up with but whatever you want to do with your life, that sort of move. Mm-hmm. So he was like, yeah, I don't quite get why you'd want to change your whole thing, and I don't know why you would want to be gay. And I just kept going, and he was like, but you know what? Whatever you decide to make for your own life, your own choices, I'm not going to judge. And I just kept saying, you know what? Me too, man. I'll never judge you. Just over and over again. And he kept trying to volley it back.
As soon as you throw out, who am I to judge, but I'm not going to judge, there obviously is judgment in that statement.
They're just saying, I'm not going to actively shun you, which is not the bar that I accept for dignity.
It's taking like the middle road and saying that it's the high road. Yeah. But it's not the low road. It's not like condemning you.
As I referred to him on my Twitter, he's the most Joe Rogan experience guy in my extended family of like a dude who thinks he's smart, but he's super, super dumb. I'm not saying that about Joe Rogan, but definitely his fan base. It's like dudes who think they're fucking ultra geniuses because they take nootropics and fucking listen to conspiracy podcasts.
They watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly. But they're the fucking dumbest guys, and you can troll them so easily. Like, trolling people who think they're trolls is my biggest pastime, probably. I need to get out of that game, though.
You've seen the subreddit I Am Very Smart, right?
Yes.
It's like, delightful.
A smug, dumb person is my mortal enemy.
And I always fear that I'm that.
Like, no. Because you're not hateful about it. You can always tell.
Sure. Yeah, but I always fear that like I'm saying something that I believe is correct, honest to God, and everyone in the room is like, oh, he's a moron.
I will tell you if that ever happens, Michael.
It's like my greatest fear to be like, oh no, I'll
check you on that, and you check on me for like boogers on my face, because that's what I'm always like.
I don't necessarily feel that those are a 1-to-1, but okay.
Okay, well, I would be just as embarrassed. So
sure, no,
how dare you?
That's valid. Who am I to judge?
So yeah, it all worked out. If anybody was just worried, I didn't want to leave anyone hanging with a cliffhanger. He tried it. And you don't mess with the queen, baby.
You counteract anger with positivity, and that's the best like way to shut them down.
Don't let those motherfuckers see you flinch ever. You cannot show, like, if you need to be upset about it later, do that, but don't ever give that to them, is my biggest advice on this, as we record the last day of Pride.
And with that, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Sorting Podcast. Yeah. We'll be back, more than likely with a guest.
Yeah. And in the meantime, please do hit us up at That Dang Dingus or at Belated Media, or please keep on engaging with our polls on sortingcat_pod.
Yeah. Bye, all.
Bye.